So I live in an apartment complex, and compared to people living in a house, it's kind of hard to download the software updates on my Tesla Model Y. But there is a workaround. For people living in a house, they can simply connect their Tesla to their home network. But because I cannot do that, because my unit is at a distance to my parking lot, so I have to use Hotspot. And that is how I download the latest software updates available for my Tesla. And as you can see here, I have connected my car to my iPhone using the hotspot, and it's right there, so it's all good. Now I know that the software update is available, so I just come here in the software page and then just scroll and download the software update that's available here, as you can see. And it's trying to download, and it does take some time. Although I am on 5G and I have 3 bars, the reception inside my garage is quite good, but it still takes time. So it's downloading now. I could leave my phone inside and go out and then do whatever I need to do, and by then it should hopefully download. Although it's connected to the 5G hotspot, it's still taking its time, but I could technically do that. But I have to ensure that my phone is not the only key to enter my car. Otherwise, potentially I could be locked in. So I need to have another key to be able to go in and out of my Tesla. So I have to keep that in mind. And if you're trying to do the same thing, you have to keep that in mind as well. So what I've realized is that it does take some time to download the software updates for the Tesla. I've only been able to test this using my hotspot, the 5G hotspot. I can't for sure say if it is the hotspot or not. Maybe it takes the same time for Wi-Fi as well. I did check my internet speed, and even with the 3 bars of the 5G hotspot, I was getting about 300 megabits down, so that's not too bad, I would say. And as you can see here on the screen, it's taking its sweet time trying to download the software update. So I don't know, I might just leave my phone inside and then go and get some things done, and then maybe in half an hour or so come in to check if the software has been downloaded and let it complete. I don't know, let's see. So I wanted to look at the release note, and it only says minor fixes. This release contains minor bug fixes and improvements, so it doesn't give you any details. Usually it tells you what fixes is included, if there is any sort of enhancement or any new thing that's introduced, but in this one it's just bug fixes. Also, a quick one, as you can see, the Sentry mode is off in my car because I am in my garage. And if you watch my previous video, if you should turn the Sentry mode on or not, I did say it's ideal to leave it on, but because there are cameras inside my garage, I decided to leave them off, because if I wanted to, I could reach out to the building management and get the video if something did happen to my car. And the whole reason is I realized after turning the Sentry mode on, it takes a lot of battery, and I hated having to charge my car every week just because the Sentry mode drained it. And because I live in the city and I am working pretty much 5 days a week, I do not generally have to drive during the weekday at least, and it was a pain just Sentry mode having drained my battery and always plugging it in. Now with the Sentry mode turned off, and if I don't drive at all, the battery lasts a lot, like a lot. Just right here you can see it's 75%, and I have set my limit to 79%, and this is with 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks of no driving at all. You can see from 79 it's at 75%. So the battery retention is quite good if you happen to not drive, and if you have the Sentry mode turned off, your battery will last. And if you are gonna be away for some trip, you can 100% rely on your car not being at 0%, because if you have the Sentry mode off, you can be sure that your battery is gonna last even if you're out on a trip. For non-EV users watching this, you might be thinking charging a vehicle is such a pain, and you would have to consider where you can charge and where you can't charge, etc. But trust me, once you actually drive it, that's not going to be a pain. Whenever you're traveling, because you would plan your travels, it's just in back of your mind, you're gonna be calculating that as well. It's just, if you haven't been driving EV, you're always gonna think it as like that requires a separate planning, but that is not a case. I used to think that way as well, but after getting the EV, I can confirm that that's not the case. And even when I went to a quick trip to Nelson Bay, which one way was 3 hours, I had not charged at home just to see if I would be paying more or less compared to if I was going on in a gas car, like a petrol car or a diesel car. And I only paid when I only had to charge once, and I was having lunch at McDonald's, and by the time I was done, or even before I was done eating, from 5% to 79%, it charged up instantly, and it only cost me $15 or $19, which is way, 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 way cheaper than it would have costed in my Toyota RAV4. So that's pretty good. That's really good, because when I went to Canberra as well, I think one way it was about 2.5 hours to 3 hours. I had to fuel maybe 3 times or 4 times if I try to remember it, but the same distance in the Tesla I would only have to charge maybe once. So that is quite amazing and a lot of savings if you really add up throughout the years and throughout the year of your vehicle ownership. Okay, back to downloading the software using the 5G hotspot from your phone to the car if you're living in an apartment complex. Sometimes it just doesn't work. So as I showed you before, it was downloading the software update after being successfully connected to my phone, right? Now it just dropped the connection and it's saying could not join my iPhone's connection because it was unable to obtain the IP address. So I will have to retry and hope that it connects again, because it was done more than halfway and it doesn't. Now I'll go to my phone, and what I'll do is I will try to turn off the hotspot and turn on the hotspot. Hopefully that should do its job. If not, I might change the password of my hotspot connection and try it that way, but let's see. You know the funny thing with this, in my 2 months, a little bit more than 2 months of ownership with the Tesla Model Y Performance, I have had quite a few software updates, and all of them I downloaded by hotspotting and connecting my Tesla to my phone, and that's how I downloaded it, and all the time it worked. Today, when I decided to make a video, and today is the first day it started to have issues. That's quite the coincidence. Okay, it is successfully connected now. I do not know why that happened, but the only thing I changed was disable the maximum compatibility settings from the iPhone's hotspot, and it seems to have finally connected. Maybe that's it, I don't know. This never happened in the past. Multiple times when I downloaded the software, it did have the maximum compatibility thing on inside of the hotspot settings, but this time I turned it off and it worked. I don't know, it's just weird technology. And it's downloading way faster than before as well. Before it was downloading a couple of kilobits, but now it's downloading in a couple of megabytes. So I don't know, it seems to be working. Now it's downloading a couple of megabytes at a time. So from 14 to 16.8 to 17.6, yeah, it's speeding up. Okay, now the software has been installed. It's giving me the option to either install now or schedule. What I'm going to do is I'm going to schedule so that it installs by itself and I don't need to be here, and it doesn't need to be connected to the internet at all. So I'm just going to schedule for, I don't know, maybe midnight. Cool, okay, let's do for midnight and let's hit schedule. So now the software update has been scheduled for midnight. I can leave the car. I don't need to have my Tesla connected to the internet. I can just go, rest up, do whatever. And when it's midnight, it's automatically gonna update with the installed software. And when I come back the next time, it's gonna be all up to date. Yeah, so that's been it. This is how I generally download the software updates on my Tesla Model Y Performance. Even though I cannot connect to my Wi-Fi at my unit, this is how I do it in my apartment complex parking lot. So that's been it. I just wanted to showcase that, how I install the software updates that's available when I cannot connect to my home network. So this is the way I do it. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, peace.